Welcome back. Our next guest is from a local center dealing with sexual assaults each and every day. Amanda Brennan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Amanda, when a survivor, a victim, someone of that nature calls the crisis center, what is their state of mind?
Okay. Well, each survivor is different. It really depends on where they are in their own personal path to healing. So some survivors, they come to us, it's their darkest hour, and they are completely helpless and hopeless. They don't know where to go. And we're sort of able to help them through that process. But survivors also come to us years and years down the road. So they could be past that helpless and hopeless feeling. They found hope now, but they're angry and they're bitter. And so we're also able to help them through that. Survivors also come to us once they've made peace. And they just want to connect to other survivors. So we're also able to help those survivors be a part of that hope and healing for other survivors.
So it sounds to me there are 3 stages, if you will.
There's probably more than that.
Well, there's more than that,
Yeah.
but to wrap it up, when they're a victim, the end of the world has come, and then they're angry, and then when they're a little more peaceful. And yes, you're right, there are a lot of other stages in between.
Yeah.
And that's great. Does someone have to come to the crisis center in person to get help? Or, as you said, can they just call you?
No, they do not have to come to the crisis center to get help. They can call 211, and that is an information referral line as well as a crisis line. So if somebody's assaulted and they just need someone to talk to, there will be somebody on the other end of that phone there to provide support and listen. They also have access to over 4,600 different resources and referrals within the community. So a lot of times survivors don't know what's out there. They don't even know that they need help. And our 211 specialists are really able to connect them to those resources. It also serves as the entryway to some of our other services. So if somebody is recently assaulted and they want to come in for a forensic exam, but they don't want to contact police or report it, they can call 211 and an advocate and a nurse will meet them at the crisis center. And that's 24/7, 365 days a year. So if it's Christmas, if it's 3 a.m. on New Year's Eve, you can call us, we're always there.
Wow, so 211, that's the number to remember.
Very easy.
Now, you said a number a second ago that kind of sparked my attention. 4,600 resources. If someone calls 211, no matter where they're calling from in the Bay Area, you can help connect them to 4,600 resources.
Yes.
What are some of those?
So if they need counseling, it's mostly within the social service realm. So if you need counseling, if you're disabled and you need transportation somewhere, we can provide that. If you need financial assistance to pay for rent or utilities, we have those resources as well.
Wow. Is there an average age of the people who come to you? Is it mostly younger people? Or is this happening to all ages?
It happens to all ages. There's no average age.
Wow. And how many people do you think that you deal with per year?
Over the phones? Oh, it's up there. It's within the thousands. I think it's, you know, just last month alone we had over 50,000 phone calls.
Wow.
So it's quite a bit.
I don't mean to put you on the spot with that number, but I just want our viewers to kind of get the fact that you're getting 50,000 phone calls in 1 month. And some months may be more, some may be a little less, but that's just one example of how many people you're helping and how many people may need that help.
Yeah.
Wow. For you working there, you pick up the phone and you actually talk to people.
Yes.
What's that like for you on your end of the line? You're trained to do this, I'm sure, but what's that like for you?
It's always different. It depends on the person. It can be very rewarding to know that I helped somebody, but also I'm very super empathetic. So when I hear people's stories, it always affects me because I want to be able to be that support for them, and I just feel what they're feeling. So it can be hard, but it's very
I was impressed when I was doing research about your teen violence counseling and programs. Tell us a little more about that.
I believe you're talking about the prevention programs.
Yes.
So what we have our outreach department. They'll go out into schools, churches, into the community to really educate our teens on, you know, physical violence, physical abuse, sexual violence, to help sort of be that preventative measure so that as they grow up, they can recognize those signs and maybe not follow down that path.
Because maybe they've grown up in a home where they've seen some sort of abuse. They may think it's normal.
Yes, exactly.
Happen with mom and dad, that's normal, but it's not normal.
Exactly.
And you guys are a great resource to stopping it. Once again, how people can connect with you, what are the connections?
Well, there's 211, so you can call 211 any time of day. It's 24/7. We have our advocacy center for survivors, so if a survivor needs any support, and this can be years and years down the road, or it can be directly after the assault, they can come in, they'll have an advocate assigned to them. That advocate stays with them throughout the entire journey and legal process. It could be years. We also have our counseling center, so we have amazing therapists that work with survivors of all sorts of abuses and traumas. They do trauma-focused therapy, so it's what, instead of looking at someone and saying, well, what's wrong with you? It sort of looks at them and says, well, what's happened? How did you get here? And helps build those coping skills that they need to overcome their traumas. We also have empowerment services. So this is for survivors, and it's a survivor-driven program where it links survivors to other survivors so that they can share experiences and connect to one another. It really focuses on resiliency, and it helps survivors build their inner strength. So they do things like, and some of them are kind of extreme, so they jump out of airplanes, walk on fire, they break boards. So it's all about building that inner strength and resiliency, but they also do things like write poetry and creative movement dancing. So it provides that cathartic expression, which just allows them to release their traumas.
And doing it together, and they all have that in common, being a survivor.
Yes.
That's empowering in itself.
Yes. Yes.
You guys offer so much there. I'm glad I've been educated about what you do, and I hope our viewers have as well, and I'm sure they have.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your expertise and your time. We really appreciate it. Stay with us. We're going to wrap up the show when we come back.